Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to show you how to set the alarm or alarms on your Casio G-Shock Mudmaster. This is GSG-100 module 5562 from Casio. This watch has 5 different alarms and an hourly signal that you can choose to turn on. You don't have to do them in any order, so if you want to do alarm number 1 and alarm number 3, you can do that, but you can have 5 of them set and then control which ones get turned on and which ones don't. So first let's talk about some of the basics of the watch. If you look at the subdials, now first let me apologize, hopefully you can see these okay. You've got to have really good eyes to use this watch because the subdials are very small and then the inverted color display doesn't make it any easier. There's 4 little squares over here on the right hand side. Each square represents a different value on the watch. The top left square at a glance will tell you whether or not you have any of your 5 alarms turned on. In my case you can see that there's nothing lit up, so I don't have any of the alarms turned on. The top right box shows you your hourly signal indicator. At a quick glance from any mode, I can tell whether or not I've got my hourly chime turned on. In my case, I don't have either of them turned on. We're going to walk through how to turn those on and we're going to walk through setting them. So, first thing we need to do is we need to get to the alarm mode. We're going to do that by pressing the bottom left button. That's going to be our mode button. It'll take us to the different modes on the watch. I'm currently in my timekeeping mode. If I press it once, it takes me in my world time mode. Press it a second time, you go to your stopwatch mode. Third time is your timer mode. And then the last mode is going to be ALM, which is your alarm mode. Now, when you get in, you're going to see this value down here in the bottom subdial alternating. You can see mine says AL1 and off. If we don't do anything in the alarm mode, I believe after 10 minutes, it will automatically kick us back to the timekeeping mode. The alarm mode is one of the few modes that you can't stay in very long. It'll basically kick you back out of it. AL1 is blinking off. That's showing me, here's the time value that I've got set for alarm number 1, and then the off is showing me that I have that alarm turned off. If I wanted to simply just turn it on, regardless of which alarm it is, it can be alarm number 2, alarm number 3, while I'm on the given alarm, if I press the top left button, it turns the alarm on. So alarm number 1 is now on, and the time of that alarm is 4 p.m. You'll notice that there's a blinking indicator over here. Now you might be sitting there wondering, why is it blinking? It's a little bit tricky, but if the alarm is within 1 hour of going off, you will have a blinking indicator here. If it's not within an hour, you will have a solid indicator here, and I'll show you that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this alarm off. You'll notice that the blinking indicator is gone, and I've just simply turned off alarm number 1. If I wanted to go to alarm number 2, I'm going to press the bottom right button. This is going to be the button that basically cycles you through your different alarms. Alarm number 2, alarm number 3, alarm number 4. You'll notice for each of these, the time is midnight. That's going to be the default time for your alarm. What if you wanted to change that time? So I'm on alarm number 4. What if I wanted to go ahead and set that? While you're on the given alarm that you want to change the time of, you're going to press and hold the adjust button. It's the top left button on the watch. We're going to hold it for a couple seconds. Just like any other setting on the watch, your analog hands will get out of the way so you can see all of the subdials. Again, it shows me that I'm on alarm number 4, and then it's blinking up here to show me that I can change the hour for alarm number 4. When I want to change it, I can use either the light button, it's the top right button, or I can use the search button, which is the bottom right button. The light button will move my values down. The search button will move them up. So let's go ahead. I'm going to set an alarm for, let's say 6:30. I've got my hour set. Now I need to go to my minutes. I'm going to press the mode button, the bottom left button, 1 time. That will take me to my minutes. They are now blinking. Again, I can use the light or the search button, and I can either press or I can hold it to go down to the value that I want. So now I've got alarm number 4 set for 6:30 a.m. Once you've got your alarm set, you're going to simply press the top left button 1 time. That will take you out of the settings mode, put you back into the alarm mode. So I've successfully set alarm number 4. By default it turns it on, but you'll notice now this one is not blinking. The reason it's not blinking is because it's showing me that alarm number 4 is turned on, but it's not within an hour of going off. We can do the same thing for any alarm. The one thing I should mention is you'll notice that my analog hands have since moved to where they're covering my subdial, and it makes it kind of hard to look at the settings. In any mode that you're on, if you want to move your analog hands out of the way, you can press and hold the mode button and it will move them out of the way. I think it will keep them out of the way for an hour. If you don't do anything for an hour, it'll automatically put them back into the timekeeping mode. You'll notice that there's also a blinking indicator now in this box in the bottom left. That's showing me that my hands are being manually moved out of the way. It's letting you know that when you see your analog hands, they're not representing the time, they're being moved instead. If we want to adjust another alarm, we can press again the bottom right button, go to alarm number 5. If we wanted to change the time for that one, again, we would press and hold the top left button and go through the same settings we just set. So I could set this one for, 10 p.m. I'm gonna go ahead, press the mode button. You'll notice that my analog hands didn't move because they were already moved, so it didn't have to move them while we were in the settings. Again, on any alarm that you're on, so alarm number 1 is off. Alarm number 2 at midnight is off. Alarm number 3 is off. Alarm number 4 is on. If I wanted to turn it off, I'm going to simply press the top left button to toggle it off. If I want to go to alarm number 5, which is off, if I want to turn it on, it's just a simple toggle. The key is you just have to make sure you're on the alarm that you want to adjust. Last but not least, you have your hourly signal. While you're on the hourly signal, you cannot adjust the time of the hourly signal, but you can simply turn it on or turn it off. You'll notice that when I turn it on, the signal box up here shows to show me that I have an hourly signal turned on. I'm going to go ahead, just for kick's sake, I'm going to put on alarm number 1 as well. So now I've set my alarms and I've turned on at least one of my alarms, and that's what these boxes up here are showing. Once you're done with your alarms, you can simply press the mode button. It's the bottom left button. That will take you out of your alarm mode. Now we're back in main timekeeping mode, and from my main watch face, I can tell a few different things. I can tell that I've got my hourly chime turned on. I can tell that I've got an alarm turned on, and one of my alarms is going to be going off within the next hour. The cool thing about this watch is this bottom subdial shows you how long before your alarm is going to be going off. So my alarm that's blinking up here is going to go off in 13 minutes and 12 seconds. The other blinking indicator, as we mentioned, is that I've got my hands moved. If I want to unmove my hands, I can again press and hold the mode button, and that will put them back into timekeeping mode. So now we can see that that box is unchecked. I hope this makes sense. It probably sounds, I'm probably not doing a real good job of explaining it. It's not near as complicated as you think once you go through and you set your values for your alarm and turn on a couple of alarms. Anyway, 5 different alarms in your hourly chime. That's how you set them on your Casio G-Shock Mudmaster watch. As always, I hope the video helps.